Hello, and for Thursday, August 27th, 2020, this is the Pro and Con Show, and I am your host, Michael James Ott. As always, welcome to the show. Doing these shows, little snippets of stuff from me to you, encouraging people to be better citizens, better neighbors, to acknowledge each other that none of us are omnipotent, and especially in these days where there is so much rhetoric trying to divide us into two tribes, and being, quite frankly, very successful at it. I mean, we really are on the verge of a civil war. The rhetoric has dialed dialed up the emotion and the fear and the hate and the anger and the frustration and all this other stuff so high. And it's because there are these groups of wealthy, powerful individuals who don't give a damn for most of the average people here in this country. They just care about wealth, power, and influence. And, by using simple tactics that people have known about, propagandists have known about for decades, centuries even. Yeah. So you've got to be a better citizen. I'm telling you, all of us, most of us are centrists. And some of us are truly centrists, and some of us lean a little bit left, and some of us lean a little bit right. But for the most part, 90% of Americans are centrists. And the problem is that you don't get people emotional by saying, oh, we're going to do things that are just and right and reasonable. And no one gets upset about that, and therefore they can't get controlled. So instead, what they have done is they've picked specific little issues, not little issues, but issues of consequence that they know they can build emotion on, things like abortion, things like gun control, things like this. And then the puppeteers broadcast their rhetoric, the deceit, the lies, the name calling, all that stuff, the setting of the stage of us, or the Hatfields or the McCoys, us versus them. Anyway, today's show is called Sherlock. And it's about, I found this article. Why did it do that? Here we go. So on the National Geographic published this article. And the title of it is, "There's a Path Out of America's COVID-19 Mess If We Choose to Take It." And the reason why I titled the show is Sherlock, as in no shit, Sherlock. No shit, Sherlock. I'm sorry. I get frustrated too. And this article kind of acts like, oh, this is like some kind of new revelation. So the article was written here very recently. The pandemic has cost the lives of at least 180,000 people in this country. And there are 6 million people at least that have had it, probably many, many millions more than that. And, there's 30 million people out of work. There's many people at risk of losing their homes, millions of students that can't attend school. And after 6 months of the worst health crisis in a century, health experts across the country say the U.S. is perfectly capable of mounting a comeback if it embraces reality and taps its potential for ingenuity. It doesn't even need the potential for ingenuity. We have what we need. We just need to be committed to spending some billions on testing and reasonable tracing and that kind of stuff, instead of trillions of dollars, tossing trillions of dollars, into the marketplace. And at this point, we have no choice, right? We've done the stupid stuff. We've had the horrific economic impact, and now we're trying to climb out of and recover from the dumb, stupid decisions that were made by primarily our administration in Washington. That would be Mr. Trump and his followers. So according to the experts, first we must knuckle down and accomplish what the article calls the obvious, which I would agree is obvious: social distance, universal mask use, close the high-risk places like churches. So any place where people can congregate in large numbers, more than just 4 or 5 or whatever. And then you try to spend time outdoors. You stay away from being indoors. You wash your hands a lot, okay? And then you push for more testing, much more testing, not less. Mr. Trump, even today, August 27th, 2020, August 27th, 2020, and he's still, to this day, saying stuff like, well, if we had far less testing, we'd have far less cases. No, we would have counted far less cases. Yes, it's true. If we had never tested a single person for COVID-19, we would have 0 confirmed cases of COVID-19. Confirmed cases by testing. But we have people going all over. I mean, the pandemic would be an order of magnitude worse than it already is, because we wouldn't have any clue about who was spreading this virus and who wasn't, because we would have done no testing. And again, and I've said this over and over and over and over and over again, my opinion about Mr. Trump has nothing to do with partisanship in any way, shape, or form. Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, I don't care anything about that. What I care about is the leader of this nation, who apparently doesn't have the mental acuity to understand 2 things. One, eliminating testing, yes, it makes the numbers go down, but that's not real. The number of people actually getting the virus continues unabated. That's like saying, oh, if we don't try to measure people's speed on the highway, then no one speeds. No, come on. So one, he doesn't do this, and then secondly, he just cannot embrace this idea that the correct way to do this, instead of wishing it away and by proclamation saying, oh, I'm going to fix it, or the heat is going to come and make it go away, or whatever. He should have been aggressively addressing this, and he did a couple of things that were slightly impactful, but not nearly enough. And to this day, he can't get it in his head, whatever mental issues that he's got in there, be it, early onset dementia or some kind of mental health thing like some extreme narcissist complex or whatever it is, whatever's wrong with his head, whatever's wrong in his brain, he's failing us horrifically. And you got to understand that we could fix this. And, oh, by the way, it does mention in this article, it's recently announced, as in the last day or two, that Abbott Laboratories has 50 million rapid tests per month availability starting in October. So they've come up with this little kit. And I think you still end up shoving a swab up into your nostril, which people won't like doing, but you still do that. You shove it up in there, and then you place this swab in this little kit, a little cardboard kit, and you put it in the right place, and you close the kit. And it's very similar in it's almost like a pregnancy test, in that you just close this little cardboard lid and wait. And you wait about 15 minutes, and then you look for an indicator. And if that indicator turns a certain color, then you know that the test has come out positive. And if it doesn't turn that color, it's come out negative. And thankfully, the federal government, don't know who in the federal government, but somebody in the federal government has said that they're going to implement or buy up 150 million of these tests over the first few months that they're available and make them available. And this is an absolute must. So it comes down to, again, this novel coronavirus, which is, yes, it's a relative of flus, it's a relative of the common cold, but it's a horrific one. It's real, it's not a hoax, and we could be doing so much better. And I appreciate that the National Geographic says, oh, like this is some kind of revelation. It's not. This is something that we could have been doing for months up to this point, and we still aren't. So no shit, Sherlock, National Geographic. But for you folks out there, if you don't believe, get on the bus. This is not a hoax. Okay, coronavirus, COVID-19, the 180,000 people that have died in this country, probably easily by the end of the year, by election day on November 3rd, is probably going to be 250,000 more, maybe. By the end of the year, 300,000. These numbers are huge. This is real people dying in real hospitals and being buried in real burial sites and real coffins all across the United States of America. It's real. If you don't believe it, go talk to the people that own the funeral homes. Okay, they're burying people in coffins left and right. All right, for the Pro and Con Show, I'm Michael James Ott. Until the next show, bye for now.